Gamers and gentle gamers, sharks have entered the chat. Welcome back to Coriander Society, Muse of War, Tormented by Gnomes, and into my map Pods of War. They are deep within the sunken city of an ancient, long-lost civilization on the watery world of Quelia. They are absolutely kicking the out of some deep ones, and but there's blood in the water, and the sharks will come circling. Gigantic mutant sharks are approaching.
Oh no.
I don't know if I specified that there are gigantic mutant sharks. I mean, not if
sure?
No, you just said sharks. You didn't say gigantic mutant sharks.
Okay, well, gigantic mutant and they rolled a natural one on their initiative. Okay. All right.
Yeah, they did, baby. Let's go, mutant sharks. Oh. Oh, wow, you weren't kidding when you meant gigantic.
Yes. Two gigantic mutant sharks. You can just barely see them swimming in the darkness.
Just see the edge.
Exactly. That's a big shark. Asena, you have the Deep One Bishop who keeps trying to invoke the wrath of various deities on you and keeps failing. On the ropes, beaten to crap and bound by astral chains. There's a gigantic mutant shark drawn to the bloodshed. And you can see it on approach. What do you do?
John, do you speak shark?
I mean, you know, I'm not familiar, but I could probably figure it out if they actually had a discernible language. I'm not sure sharks have a discernible language, actually. I know eagles do. I can speak eagle if that's preparation time.
Okay, I don't think that's gonna help.
Yeah, no, not really. I think they mostly just kind of do two things. They swim and they eat.
Maybe... Did I put a hole in the wall yet?
Yes, actually. You broke into an ancient catacomb, like a valve within the outside of the structure. It was never meant to be an access point, but you've managed to find the exact point of entrance, and it is far too narrow for these big sharks to make their way in.
Can we squeeze through?
So what if we just leave the bodies here so the sharks could eat them, and we go through the hole?
Good call. Can you grab one of the bishops, though? We'll gag him and bring him in as a guide.
Sure, but... okay. I was gonna use him as bait.
Well, we can leave the other... I mean, they're probably not going to eat their masters, and that's what these are, but, I mean, maybe.
The sharks are gonna eat them.
They might. They totally might. Forget it. I'll be guided enough. Let's just
gag yours. I'm going in the hole.
Alrighty. Get it.
Asena dives into the temple, which is a confusing series of water valves where you've broken into it. Roll survival check. Navigate the nonsense.
It's here somewhere.
John, you're up next.
A 20.
I'm ready.
Yeah, you managed to follow the flow of water. Breaking through here has adjusted the water flows, and by following the direction that they're flowing away from, you are making your way towards the temple's heart. John, what do you do?
Well, seeing as Asena, and I'm assuming Dargan as well?
Yeah, does Dargan follow you, Asena?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and bring Dargan with you, and I'll just move our gigantic Doom friend over here. Just park him.
Yeah. Let's get our Doom friend out of the way. Okay. I don't know if John's close enough to be able to grab one of those bishops, but you know who's next to him is Charlemagne. Yeah.
Charlemagne, pick him up like a cat with a fish.
Yeah, exactly. So he'll drag the not, you know, impressive creature over, and then John will gag it. And then we go to the hole.
The children of Piscaithus are on their way. We will all be one in the great feast. Stop that! Put me down, you furry
John's gonna speak deep one now.
Piscaithus? Yeah, I know that one. Here, tell us all about it. We're gonna head into your little asylum.
The holy tongue is profaned by the flippity-flappity mouth of a surface dweller. Blasphemy! Heresy!
And John shoves him in the hole.
All right. You have now entered the temple.
Woo!
The Deep One Bishop that you've dragged with you still has the brain fuzz.
Yeah. Brain fuzz. Excellent.
It gets a new saving throw at the... Well, first they have to use their turn. They've got one level 3 spell slot left. Roll an opposed athletics check. With Charlemagne, please. The bishop is trying to cast a spell, but is being carried.
Let's see. Oh, natural 20. We take those.
He attempts to call upon the elder gods and is too busy getting flopped around like a dead floppy fish to actually cast it.
Yeah.
All right. And so our heroes and their captive vanish into the temple.
Yes. Hey, you were right.
Outside, the enormous corrupted sharks just start eating everything, starting with the living bishop, ending with the dead ones. It's a feeding frenzy out there, and they are enormous. The two of you are now within the darkness of the Temple of Ichak.
John is going to cast suggestion on the bishop.
What do you suggest?
John is going to say,
You will treat me as if I am one of your own. You will listen to me, you will listen to my companions, and you will aid us in making our way through this complex, if you know what's good for you.
The Deep One Bishop has advantage on saves against being charmed or frightened because of its dark devotion.
goody.
Unfortunately, an 8 does not save. Also, it starts speaking in common, and Asena, you can now understand it.
Woohoo!
Have you brought this one to be sacrificed?
Eventually. Not now. Too much to be done.
Praise the old gods! Hail Balathamog! Hail Halashnar!
Are those gods that we are familiar with, mate?
Roll a religion check, please.
Yeah, I'll give you one of those. Why not? 19.
These are elder evils.
They are elder evils. What are those names again?
Halashnar, Balathamug, Piscaithus.
Would you mind just
guess
dropping them?
Yeah,
the
the spelling on these is absolutely
interesting.
Yeah, I will drop them in
because
chat. Anyways, while I do this, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna ask. Isn't like Piscaithus? They're also an elder god, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll drop them all in chat. While I do that, the 2 of you plus the 3 of you are now inside the flow valves of the Temple of Ichak. Asena, is there anything that you wish to do now that you're inside and not being eaten by giant mutated sharks?
I don't think so. You just
All right,
swim
then.
around.
Swimming around is a free action.
for something specifically? Or are we
Well,
just here fleeing our life?
Well, I only came through here once, and right now we're trying to get information about what was up with that circle. So I feel like now that we have our friend over here, the bishop, to help guide us, we can find out what it is they use this place for, this temple to Yichak. And they will be able to share with us why they have that little circle there.
Speaking of which, hey, Bishop, what do we call you?
I have no need of a name. I am one of many, the countless denizens of the deep in service to the true old ones. We are but worms before their presence. But if necessary, you can call me Blugog.
Okay, Blue. Oh. Julio. And Blue Gout, what's up with the shark spawning magic circle thing?
We follow the teachings of the old ways to bring forth the children of the deep.
And
The
how long
empire
have
of
you been here?
old may rise again.
Oh, Empire of Old. How long have you been here currently?
Time is meaningless. Like, I don't know, 5 years or something.
Okay. And you were all once humanoids before you became this?
Not of our formal sinful ways. We have seen the truth and are growing more and more like unto the gods with every passing day.
Fantastic. What do you plan to do with these children of the gods that you're crafting?
We will turn them over to the will of the gods, that they will fulfill the dreams of the gods and feast upon the surface dwellers.
Oh, good to know. Okay, so not unholy, nefarious purposes. Very good. That construct that protects this temple to Yichak, what's the deal with that thing?
That is a relic of the old empire, sacred and ineffable.
And have you ever been in this place before? That we
Absolutely not.
Oh, good to know. Okay, so you don't know how to bypass the sentry.
To do so is blasphemy.
Blasphemy, you say? Interesting. Okay. Well, now that we're
Actually,
here...
we're kind of doing a blasphemy right now. Why are we in here?
I was gonna say, well, no, it's because there's secrets in here, secrets of the old gods. Don't you want to become closer to that which you seek to attain oneness with?
Look at me. I'm already turning into fish. I don't need to get any closer, and I won't get closer by defying their holy will.
This isn't a defiance. This is merely pursuing a different avenue of knowledge.
Asena, Dargan turns to you.
We are not defying you. We are pursuing a different avenue of eating.
Okay.
On that note, can we eat him?
I think we were playing. John, we were playing nice, right?
I mean, yeah, we're playing nice, but he's never been here before, so he already kind of gave up the ghost that they're all pretty... They worship some pretty bad things down here, so I honestly feel like we can go back there and just, there'd be no karma against us if we eliminate that horrible elder shark from becoming born into the world. Actually, we should probably, do a bit of an extermination session down here, considering all of these creatures are trying to support the elder gods that we're trying to stop, and they're planning on attacking the surface world of Quelia. So...
I think that was a really long way to say that we can eat them.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Not we. I'm not gonna eat them.
I mean, that's up to you.
Human always doesn't say anything in any way other than a long way.
You're getting so smart.
We learn, we grow. Blue Gulk, you are correct. This is a blasphemy that we must sit and get penance for. Come with me, please. We shall pray to Pakiphis and Shogat and Alice in the air. Come join me and close your eyes as we pray to those dark gods.
Glory be to Shothotug, Eater of Worlds. May his cleansing touch descend upon this planet.
And to the hunger below and the Blood Queen, of course. Now, again, if you could go ahead and face east and just bow your head.
I've been underwater for like 5 years. What direction is east?
And at that
Yeah,
point,
how long
it
has
should
it been
be-
since I've seen the sun?
I feel like as this is happening, there's this looming shadow of a dragon ever growing closer until finally, at the most opportune time,
Jump. And Dargan eats him.
there we go. And
Was he tasty at least?
Tastes fishy.
I feel like it's kind of irrelevant. I mean, he's eaten literal corpses before. I don't think Dargan's really worried about the taste of what they consume.
How do we know?
You're right. We don't know. Hey, how did that taste aside from fishy? Was it good, bad, or otherwise?
More.
Yeah, that's about what I thought.
I think it means good.
Now, do we have to punch our way out of these pipes that we find ourselves in, or can we eventually work our way through the system?
You can work your way through the system. Where do you want to go?
Everywhere.
Okay.
I mostly want to head back to that central chamber that I originally found, Yitzhak. But this is an entire complex that we have carte blanche to explore. I want to see if we can find any hidden knowledge here. This is where Yitzhak was prisoned for who knows how long, a millennia, an era. In fact, there might be some information here that would be useful in figuring out what they're about, or possibly how to reseal them or stop them if it comes to it.
Okay. Roll an investigation check. Asena, how are you going to participate as John looks for nerd knowledge in the temple?
Nerd.
I don't know.
All right. Does
I can't
Asena...
really visualize what's in here.
That's fine. It's non-Euclidean geometry. It defies mortal comprehension, which means I don't have to explain it. It's very convenient. Lovecraftian stuff is great about that.
Hey, Asena, why don't you just give me a hand? You can help me look around. How about that?
Okay.
Let me show you what I do. John's going to hand her a magnifying glass. And over the next however long it takes for us to continue exploring this place, John's going to explain. No, he's not going to get... Usually he gets way too involved with his explanations, and it ends up just being way too much. So he's going to really just simplify what he's doing and just give her kind of a 101 step-by-step. This is how I go about locating what I'm doing. And with Asena's assistance, can I go ahead and roll this with advantage?
No.
Oh, well, all right.
She's
then.
not proficient. So at this point, not a super... You do this a couple more times, and for roleplay purposes, I'll give it to you. But unless she puts in
I'm
some more
mostly thinking the
practice-
8 action, because in D&D, the 8 action, does
Yeah, but
that.
in this case, I'm ruling that an untrained aid is not going to be that much aid.
Understandable. I don't need you anyway. I hold true. I don't need you anyway.
You good with that natty one?
I mean, is Matt? No, John has no idea he rolled a natty 1 though, so he's too busy trying to explain what he's doing to Asena to realize he's likely stumbling into something he shouldn't be.
Okay.
I'm
The
just failing
inferior-
forward, mate. This is just success
Look,
disguised as
I'm absolutely down for this. It's just not normally what I get. It's not a deduction die, a lucky die, a talisman
True.
reroll, although that's gone. Yeah, so it's not that I disagree with your
What do you
choice.
mean?
It's that
No, I get the talisman reroll if I wanted. I get butts that at any time I want.
the
Okay,
talisman's
I just-
gone.
What do you mean? I still have a new talisman. I don't have the talisman, but I have a talisman.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was talking about the infernal kiss. My bad.
Oh yeah. I have my bullshit Tiamat talisman though. I got my
Right. Yeah, you swapped out one bullshit for another bullshit.
yeah.
As you are searching through, the entire structure is built like the the chambers of a heart or some internal organ with branching paths, except that instead of flowing organically, they're all at angles, right? So imagine if a creature evolved to have perfectly ordered organs.
Okay.
It's very strange. Some of the passageways are too narrow for you to swim through. Others are very large and have a lot of water flowing through. Sometimes there's a hot current. Sometimes there's a particularly chilling cold one. But you enter a massive chamber. And to avoid the penalties of disadvantage on investigation checks because of darkness, shed a little light on the subject. And as you do, John, you realize that this entire wall is one massive deep glyph.
Oh.
And I need both of you to immediately roll a wisdom saving throw at disadvantage.
Well, hell. At disadvantage. Ooh,
yes,
my.
because of the specific deep glyph.
Okay.
An 11. Roll one for Dargan and for Charlemagne. Charlemagne's immune. But roll one for Dargan, please.
Okay, hold on a moment. I'm going to add a deduction dice to this, because of course I am.
I can push that. Does that count? Is it the same?
Yeah, all right.
That is the same. You succeeded. Well, you didn't succeed on the save, but you succeeded on the roll. All right. John, your total is 22. Asena, your total right now is 11. And Dargan's total is 14.
Why is it minus?
I used to have something I could help that with, and I've lost that now, unfortunately. I cannot.
I still have another dice.
One of those lucky ones?
Yeah, we got
Cool.
two,
That'll let
right?
you do a flat roll once.
Okay, gotta use it anyway.
Yeah, might as well, right?
Flat roll.
Flat roll. Oh!
Hey.
So here's the thing. You don't get to keep the 22. Because when you use lucky and you have disadvantage, you now have 3 numbers. You get to pick 2 numbers, of which you take
That's
the worst
fine.
number. So you got a 17, which means you still saved. Well done.
Cool.
Dargan, on the other hand, did not.
No. Probably should have saved Dargan. Oh, wait. Let's do his wisdom for 120.
Hey, Pods, do you have an inspiration that you want to give me so I can save
Wait,
him?
the Dargan has 2 inspirations.
Oh, he does?
Does
Would Dargan like to spend
Yeah.
an inspiration so that way
Reroll.
John can say... Oh, well, okay.
Or give it to John for him to do his shenanigans. Your call.
So you can either re-roll it. You roll a 15 minus 1, which means that the odds of getting higher is bad. However, Dargan has a temperance seal, and if you can use inspiration to allow me to have activated that right now, then he can gain a +5 to his check.
Belay
And
that,
you will-
John.
What?
There's a flashback card in the queue.
Oh, here we go. Oh yeah, flashback. John activated temperance for Dargan, so that way Dargan can use their reaction and add a +5 to their wisdom save.
Okay.
+5.
Bringing it up to a 19. All of you save against the compulsion to join the workforce of this city in service
Oh,
of
I
the
have that
glorious
one.
old masters.
I have that one. Oh wow.
That's a terrible thing. I'm glad we didn't lose it.
Yeah, that would have been pretty bad. Well, I already have that one, so I don't need to copy that down. Does John know how to counter this glyph? Now that we are aware of it, are we immune to it for a time? Or do we need to destroy this thing?
You know where to shoot it. You know where to shoot it. You don't have to blow the whole thing up. You just need to like ruin the design, you know?
John gets Asena's assistance to mar and ruin the design.
Okay. The design is no longer inexorable.
Ineffable. Yep, exactly.
Well, that being said, This temple is filled with blasphemous knowledge. Much of it is written in the deep speech and bizarre alien languages, and much of it is difficult to understand because it was not written by somebody with a mortal sentient mind. The way that the thoughts run from one to the other, the connections they draw, really, really weird. Completely abnormal.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff here. John, roll an intelligence saving throw, please.
Intelligence saving throw. Interesting. 18.
All right. You do not lose part of your mind simply trying to comprehend it.
Oh,
Asena,
good.
roll a perception check for me, please.
Okay.
Ten. Okay. Asena floats by as John is interpreting a particularly difficult passage. She floats by, and for a moment, her shadow obscures a marking on the wall. Something she does not see. A twisting column of fire reaching up towards a misty figure pulling away from it towards the sky. But, she doesn't see it. The camera lingers on it for a moment as she zooms out of frame, and then it continues to catch up.
What a thing to miss.
You son of a bitch.
John, the Deep City, the Sunken City, is a relic of the original denizens of Quelia, the Aboleths.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. This was an ancient Aboleth city. There was a time, before time, when the Aboleth history says that they ruled all things. They dominated the entire universe. All worlds that existed were under their control. That control was broken
When the Fire
when
Nation
mortals
attacked.
discovered faith. And the gods appeared. Divine power is what broke their original empire.
Oh.
Their entire calendar and concept of time means this could have been a different reality. This could be a timeline that was erased through time travel shenanigans. It is so unimaginably ancient. Ever since then, the Aboleths have simply been waiting to reclaim their rightful place as rulers of all things. They have waxed and waned in huge cycles, like geological time, spanning millions of years. Their power has grown to the point where they control huge swaths, and then it breaks again.
And where are we now?
Well, nobody's written anything new for a long time, John. You don't know.
And there's no signs that any of those aboleths have still lingered in this place. It
You
seems as
haven't
though
seen a single one of them down here in either of your visits.
Okay.
But there are more descriptions of Ichak, the violet flame.
Yes, please.
There are claims that they are not a god, nor is Balathamug, nor is Halashner, nor are any of these entities. The Aboleths do not have gods. The divine is their foe. But there are things that are older, things that are before and beyond. Yichak is one of these. According to the Aboleth texts, Yichak is the progenitor of all evil gods. When the mortals discovered faith, Ichak whispered to them, corrupted them, twisted them, encouraged them to have faith in their most destructive, ruinous, selfish, and chaotic urges, and thereby precipitated the birth of gods of war, plague, suffering, needless death. Whether this is true or not, hard to tell. The multiverse is an enormous place, and it's infinitely old. So who can really say who's the first? But Ichak is called the Muse of War because they appear and they encourage the worship of evil deities in every culture they arrive in, always manipulating and twisting and just leading to greater and greater chaos and destruction. Of all the elder evils, they are the most interested in life, even if it's negatively so. Most of the other ones that the aboleths didn't worship but respected just sort of exist and don't care about mortals or gods or any of that stuff. They're just beyond all that. But Ichak has always been interested and has always been meddling. And it is said that to gaze upon Ichak's true form, because Ichak always appears like Adhyana, somebody you know, somebody you will trust, somebody you'll find attractive. But if you ever see Ichak's true form, it's so horrible, it will kill you and destroy your soul.
Jeez. Well, it's a good thing they play fair, huh? Unless they actually can't reveal themselves in their true form. It's only if you invite it in that you actually are exposed to it.
Hmm.
Okay, so not a god, but was a progenitor of evil gods, possibly.
Something else,
So
something
they're not-
beyond or just different from a god.
I mean, because what is a god other than just an impressively powerful thing that usually is fueled by some kind of either divine, infernal, or otherwise energy?
And in Anakra, it's anybody who's powerful enough to grant spellcasting.
Yeah, I mean, there you
So
go.
that's
Depending on where
that's the only definition.
depending on where you are, then there you go.
Mhm.
So even if Yichak isn't a true quote unquote god, they're in the same weight class for sure. So that they see if Yichak was sealed away here, there was a reason for it. So there has to be, if we can find that chamber that they were sealed in, much like with all of the various medias where just in the prison they have this writing that talks about how they got in prison, because that's where you would put that. John's gonna look for that.
Okay, you're gonna.
Last
find
time he
your way
came here, he
to
was
the
just so
central chamber?
excited to. Yeah, exactly. The last time he came through here, he was just excited to find any means of escaping from the deep lord of the storm giants. And now that he realizes what he's let loose, he's going to take a little more time to see what's going on down here.
Okay. John and Asena swim their way through the enormous circular rune-inscribed veins of the temple, deeper and deeper until you find yourself in its very heart. Now, if you imagine the temple is a ziggurat, right? It's a stepped pyramid. It goes into the earth as well, making it more of a diamond shape, like a D8. The central chamber is the exact same shape. It extends both up and down in the hollow heart of it all. And in the very middle of that is a writhing column of violet flame with walkways
Still.
that extend towards it. Yes. Its flickering light casts eerie, wickedly dancing shadows upon the walls. Your own shadows, distorted, fragmented, leering, somehow obscene, and flickering wildly upon the walls, far, far larger than either of you.
John is going to approach. He's going to make sure that if there were any precautions he had to take last time, he'll apply those here as well. Otherwise, he's going to see if he can track down where any of these ancient writings, runes, or stories around this place would be kept.
Okay. Asena, you're floating around this huge chamber with a whirling tornado of violet fire that extends from one point to the other. There's more massive nerd carvings all over the walls and other passageways that lead in and out. You don't see any treasure, and you don't see anything obvious to punch. What will you do?
Can I go see if the... Oh, God.
You're gonna go see what?
Can I go see if the fire is hot?
Sure. Okay. As you swim closer, it's not hot, but the closer that you get, the more your adrenaline levels spike.
John, this place is kind of creepy.
Yeah, it certainly is. I'd be worried if
You
it wasn't.
said that like you're enjoying it.
I mean, I wouldn't be. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, this is pretty impressive. The last time I came down here, I was but a fledgling, and I barely knew what I was getting myself into. But now, I'm a little more prepared, and this is very intriguing.
I didn't know you were a baby bird.
What? A baby bird? What are you talking about?
A fledgling!
Oh.
You said you were a fledgling down here.
At one point, I was. Indeed, I was.
I would
What
have
was
a
that?
comment from Dargan, but this is one-to-one mental communication, so I do not have a comment from Dargan. It would have to do with John would be tastier if he was a bird.
Oh, I think that we're doing kind of a. I think Asena's hitting like an open comm for all of us, like
That's
all of
Asena's
our.
call.
I remember Asena saying that earlier, so I didn't know if that had changed.
Well, Dargan makes a comment about how John would be tastier if he was a bird.
And so would you, Dargan. We'd all be pretty tasty if we were birds. In any case, I am not a bird, but I am burdened with glorious purpose, and that purpose is to collect every shred of evidence how I can unseat Hitchot from this place.
Okay. Roll an Arcana check and an intelligence saving throw, please, John Carmichael.
All right. Arcana check. And if I
27.
failed, I have a little.
You did not
a little,
fail.
Cool. Good. And then intelligence savings throw, you say. 24.
Okay, you passed.
All right.
Inscribed within this chamber, because the text extends across this entire room and the room is like hundreds of feet in all directions, it's a lot to read. You can't read the whole thing. You have to like pick up a little context here and pick up a little context here. And sometimes a passage isn't written left to right. It's written to respond to what's on the opposite wall or the other opposite wall on the other side. It's
Ooh.
super confusing. But one theme does become clear here. One candle can light 1,000 others. This place is referred to as a crucible, as a hearth, as a forge of ruin. As a beacon, as an eternal fire.
Does John get the sense that the violet flame towering in the center of this heart is the candle?
Yes.
Hearth, the forge of ruin.
Yes.
Okay. And you said that all of the words are saying that one candle can light 1,000 others. That would lead John to believe that this candle can be manipulated or utilized.
Or it can manipulate and utilize in your case.
Yes, that's true. John, once he's done exploring the vast chambers of this locale, collecting this information and finding out this deep lore, he's gonna start playing with the fire.
Okay. How so? Asena is also floating around it, seeing if it's hot, and experiencing high capillary flush levels, extremely elevated heartbeat, and nervous anxiety, as are you when you get closer, John. Adrenaline, your adrenaline levels just go up, and your cortisol levels, the stress chemical, just go up. How are you playing with the fire?
Well, John, feeling that sense of rage and intense urgency that he used to feel at almost all times while he was wearing the talisman, returns to him, and it's almost comforting rather than being startling. Like one of those old toxic friends you used to hang out with in high school. You get together when you go to some kind of reunion and you're like, oh, this is bad. I should not continue this. But for one night, that might be fun. He lets it in and he is going to let it wash over him as he focuses on his work. And he is going to attempt to try to, at first, see if this flame can be manipulated, either by using his own magical properties, or by seeing if like a piece of the flame can be taken and withheld, or as soon as it's broken away from the main column, if it just whittles away.
John, you yourself bore a piece of this fire with you from this very chamber. You know it doesn't expire. That time it
Even
was
a piece,
ankled with
okay.
a piece of bile stone. It naturally alights to bile stone, which is that sort of slimy, dark substance you've been seeing around a lot. Same stuff that the throne was made of. You already know that the fire can adhere to that.
What about astral rock?
Astral rock? You want to try it?
I kind of want to try it.
Is it literally just a piece of rock from the astral plane?
It's Rocco, but yeah.
A piece of Rocco?
Or, well, it says astral rock, so I'm assuming it came from Rocco. Pretty
Okay.
sure.
All right. The fire sort of flickers over it, but doesn't spread or adhere.
Doesn't spread or adhere.
So,
Ooh,
you see John poking the thing with various things.
Asena, you had that rainbow sludge. Can you bring that over here?
Sure. This fire is not hot.
You said that it was incredibly adhesive. Perhaps we can see if it's so adhesive we can have the fire cling to it.
Well, don't touch it with your fingers.
Oh, that's not the plan. I don't want to touch it with my fingers, but I'm thinking we might be able to adhere it to. And hey, wait a minute, mate. Is this area here made of bile stone?
No. There's
No.
bile
Where
stone
did-
down here, but not in this temple.
Where would we go about finding some bile stone?
Well, you haven't seen any on your travels so far down here. The pearls, remember those black pearls that your halfling buddy was selling on the top? Those were all bile stone, but unless you kept one of those from
Oh.
years ago,
Very unlikely.
it would have been in the case of carrying anyways.
Well, we
No, but-
recovered all of that anyway.
If you had the properties of the case of carrying, I'd say you could pull that off. Does Asena
Yeah,
have
yeah,
anything else that might be able to catch this fire, or know anything else that could be helpful in this situation?
Catch a fire.
God, I'm so bad at this voice effect. Yes, actually. Probably. Maybe.
Go on.
Catch a fire.
A weird flame of eternal ruin and war fire.
I have a piece of toxic ship. And a
Where-
patch of hard fabric.
Oh my god, those are from ages ago.
The toxic ship, isn't that the electric bug, the lightning bug? Had the radiation?
I think it
Mm.
might have been.
I haven't mentioned it because I forgot.
I think it was from
And then
Lightning Bug.
the hard fabric was... I might have given that to Gaston, actually.
Okay. Wipe that off. It'll
It
just
was-
make things less confusing.
Yeah. I have
Oh,
drawing of a dead purple rock man. That'll work.
What is that?
drawing of a dead purple rock man. That
We're
does
like
ring a
92
bell.
episodes in. That could be anything.
That does ring a bell, actually.
I'm glad it does for you, because the guy running the game doesn't have anything here.
Drawing of a dead purple rock man. Gosh, I'm like seeing it in my head, but
You know, I'm glad you can get an immediate visual on a drawing of a dead purple rock man.
yep.
I need to start taking clips when I get items.
Hey, mate.
Yes.
I'm looking through my bag here, and John had taken a vial of violet flame from the throne.
Yes.
And so, is that the same flame that came from here?
Yes. One light can ignite 1,000 candles.
Okay. Well, John at least has a light. He'd like
trying
more.
to light it?
Well, no, but
Put it
you
out.
know. Well, I mean, I doubt we could put it out. I don't know what would happen if we put it out. That sounds pretty intriguing. This is the Forge of Ruin, the Beacon of Eternal Fire, the Crucible. How would we go about putting out a never-ending fire?
It was just a question. I don't know.
Fire is already underwater, so submerging it is out of the question here.
Yeah.
Ooh, how about this?
Smothering it. Ooh. Yeah.
It's a wood stake.
Wait a minute.
Do you
Hold
think
on.
wood would burn?
I mean, yeah. I don't know if it would survive or if it would just burn until it dies.
Well, that other thing doesn't die.
Well, it was contained with magic.
I don't think I could put it in another bottle. I don't have an empty bottle. I'll just have to throw away this fire sap dragon blood.
No, don't do that. I'm sure we could find more bottles for you. Actually, you know, you do bring up a good point. Dargan, do you think you could consume this flame without dying?
Yes.
Well, then there's our answer.
How's it gonna eat fire?
He literally just ate a bunch of coins and dead bodies, and
Yeah, but it's not fire.
So
Not
far, there's-
hot fire. What if it makes him crazy?
I mean, he's already pretty crazy.
He is not crazy. He's the opposite of crazy. He's very calm.
I mean, you
Except
can be
wanting to
calm
eat
and
everything.
crazy.
And you?
Yeah, I mean, crazy doesn't necessarily mean you're hyper and bouncing off the walls. It just means that you're a little bit touched in the head usually.
Sanity is a silly idea. We don't care for it.
In any case, we're not exactly sure what that would do. If that would empower Yitzhak, if that would weaken them, if it would do anything at all.
You want to eat it, Dargan, or not?
Delicious.
Well, I've got a
He
piece of it
has
right here. So
taste.
might as well. Yeah, let's let him do it. Sure, give it a shot, Dargan. Eat the fire.
Are you having him take a bite out of the enormous whirling column or what?
Well, hey, I'm wondering, does it start from somewhere, mate, or does it just exist?
It looks like it's tethered at the top and the bottom of this
Okay.
internal diamond-shaped chamber. Like it runs from ceiling to floor.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm wondering if we can just start at one end and then, you know. How is he planning on going about eating this? Is he just gonna take a bite out of it, or?
Yeah, for starters.
All right, well, let's give it a shot. Take a bite and see what happens.
Okay.
John's gonna turn on the seal of recovery for
Okay.
Dargan.
And what does the seal of recovery do?
Well, if he dies, or if he gets to 0 hit points, he immediately stabilizes and gets 1 hit point.
Got it.
It's a get out of jail free card once per long rest.
Dargan swims up, circles around it a couple of times, and then just sort of like if you ever see schools of fish when predators just sort of swoop in and just open their mouths and just see what they can scoop up. That's what it's like as Dargan sort of swims through it and
Okay.
it vanishes into his mouth and some steam hisses out between his teeth, and the fire seems unchanged. The part that he bit immediately restored.
Did that do anything for you, buddy?
Dargan exhales, and his breath weapon that normally does radiant and fire damage, the fire has taken on violet tinges and hue.
Oh.
Is it delicious?
Yes.
Do you
Must
want
be
more?
evil fire.
Yes.
Asena, that's up to you. Do you think Dargan should get more violet flame or just a little snack?
Well, yeah, he said it was delicious, and earlier he couldn't taste anything.
Well, then let's do it. Go to town on Yitzhak's purple flame, my guy.
Okay. And Dargan just like flies up and like sticking your head, like when a dog gets the hose and it's just just and we'll go for as long as you're willing to wait.
You know, as John's looking at this, he's kind of like thinking, you know, Asena, what if we tried that? What if we tried to, you know, bond with the flame? You know what I mean? Like Dargan's doing.
You don't think it'll hurt us?
Probably hurt, yeah. But it says that one candle can light 1,000 others, and even though this here is it's a forge of ruin, that doesn't sound super promising, but it is a crucible, a beacon. There's lots of words that were used to describe this thing, and I'm wondering if Yitzhak as a force of nature is not necessarily an evil being, even though they cultivate evil in others. They're interested in life, both cultivating it and destroying it. It's possible that perhaps we could light a fire within ourselves, utilizing this candle.
Okay, well, let me do it first.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, you didn't eat it all, did you?
Wait, I'm sorry, what? Is Dargan done eating?
That's enough.
Are you not hungry?
No, I'm not.
The candle burned away his hunger.
That's weird.
That's
We
amazing.
really gotta take some of this home.
How are you feeling, Dargan?
Well,
I am so confused. You even sound a little bit nicer.
I was gonna say, he also sounds a lot deeper as well. Mate, does Dargan look changed at all, aside from the difference in the flame that comes from the
One
mouth?
insight check. Both of you. $28 from John freaking Carmichael, and
And I have
15.
a nerd stuff if it doesn't go well enough.
it's a 28. Shut up.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is.
Dargan absolutely doesn't look physically different, but behavior seems very different. Far
Do
less
they appear to be
bestial,
thinking?
far less
Oh.
animalistic.
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna put my hand in.
Okay. Roll a charisma saving throw, please. A 3. Asena, the moment that you put your hand in, you feel the crunch of bone giving way before your fists. In the blink of an eye, you relive every single kill you have scored through this entire campaign. Every mook, every boss, every monster that you have beaten to death with your bare hands in just rapid succession, every single one of those moments of their deaths. And then when you pull your hand out, it flickers and glows. The fire dances around you and then sort of slowly wisps away.
Yeah, John, you should not touch that.
What do you mean? I was gonna step inside of it. What do you mean don't touch it?
I don't think you should step inside. It's a death flame.
What? You're fine, weren't you? You stuck your hand in and you is it busted? Are you alright?
Is my hand fine?
Your hand is completely unharmed and deadly. One of the most effective killing weapons you've ever encountered. Could always be stronger, though.
Look, I'm physically fine. If you step in the fire, you may be physically fine. But you may also see some stuff that you don't want to see.
Is that all? I've been seeing awful stuff for a decade or more. Let's do this.
Oh, okay.
And before he enters into the column of fire, he's going to turn back to Dargan. You seem changed, Dargan. How are you feeling? I know you're not hungry anymore, but you seem a lot more present.
I am present.
And how do you feel about your mother?
Good.
And the rest of your companions? And John's going to kind of indicate himself and Chester.
We are all companions.
Okay. Well, here goes nothing. And John's going to steel himself, closing his eyes, and he's ready to activate his fire immunity tattoo if things go very poorly, if that'll even do anything. He's trying to consider what he could do in order to increase his chances of being able to survive this experience, but he's mostly just going to go on his uncharacteristically good luck, as he's always kind of done the true American way of going way too hard on something when someone warns you not to, and it usually works out for him. So he's just going to close his eyes and just step into the column of purple fire.
Okay. Roll a charisma saving throw, please, with disadvantage.
Disadvantage, you say? Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice, very nice, very nice. Charisma, you say. And that would be a 23, because disadvantage means nothing to a man who's surrounded by luck.
Okay. When you step into the violet flame, your skin burns for a fraction of a second. Very, very painful, but over and harmless in the blink of an eye. And like Asena, you get a smash cut instantaneous montage of every single person you have killed in your entire life. Every gunshot, every fireball, every enormous explosion, just every single one of them. It's got to be thousands at this point, Matt. Like,
it's quite a lot.
Between combat kills and then like cinematic, there was that time a nuke went off, you know.
Yep.
There's a lot. And these days, nothing really challenges you very much. Every single kill just flies past you. Does John do anything, react to this, emotionally respond in any way?
I mean, if it's so fast that he can barely perceive what's happening, he's probably just in shock. But if it does linger long enough to where he's able to make any of this out, then he is going to definitely have a wash of emotion. He's going to go from feeling pangs of guilt for not being able to show mercy to those that that wanted to pursue combat when he was looking for other means. He's going to feel bouts of wrath when he was, let's just say, guided by the infernal talisman that he used to carry, that would push him to great acts of violence whenever he was in danger. And he'll think of he'll have pangs of sadness, and will think of the times that he took a life when it didn't need to be taken, and he could have done something else when he just took the easy way out, and it was just easier to take a life.
Every time you feel that pang of regret, it's like a layer is being peeled back. And underneath it, you can just barely make out a sigil, a seal, an arcane diagram of some kind. It almost looks familiar, like something you would have seen in a textbook on Earth, but clearly magic. And with each moment of regret about taking the easy way out or not being able to avoid violence, it becomes slightly clearer, a little bit more and more. You can see what you see. It's a spell for generating high amounts of energy in very, very small micro scales. And
John has got to force himself to think about when he effectively killed Akafician, when he created Hara, the greatest regret that he's ever experienced, and try and force himself to, with all the clarity he can manage, see this glyph.
Okay. The clearer this glyph becomes, the roll a wisdom saving throw for me.
Oh, crap. The will of a
20.
Templar is stronger.
Okay. With each thin layer that gets peeled back, that regret sting lessens. It gets weaker and weaker. It's not a feeling of peace. It's not a feeling of penance or coming to terms with things. It's more that you do what you do when you do it. And if people want to stop you and get killed, that's their business. Fuck them.
Okay.
And it is that emotion pouring forth this regret. It is not rising as a reward for challenging yourself. It is rising as a counter offer. The barrier between you and this spell, is that an atomic diagram? Are those molecular bonds at the center of that spell? But it's blocked by that regret. It's blocked by the fact that you care.
John is unwilling to give in to carrying that laissez-faire nonchalance at taking life. John, as you say, has done what he's had to do in dire situations to protect himself and those that he is in charge of, his friends, his wards, and he does everything that he can to avoid taking a life when possible. And he's not going to give up that regret, even for this.
Now holding on to that regret is like putting your hand down on a hot stove. It has gone from blocking your vision of something to rising levels of pain. Despite all the visions floating around you, it is becoming more and more apparent to you that you are inside of a column of fire.
Uh-huh.
and it is starting to burn you. What do you do?
Does John feel that the tattoo that protects him from fire is going to be of any use in this situation? Does it seem like it's not cutting away at the flames at all?
This ain't your normal flame. This is an actual fire.
John is going to, when things get really bad, he's going to activate his immunity and see if the immunity, much like how Dargan is able to cut through resistance but not through immunity, if the immunity against fire will buy him some respite.
Yes, but now it's going into your mind. You've prevented your body from taking the damage, and the moment you do that, it shifts, and it is now inflicting psychic damage.
When that happens, like how you were saying, like when you he was trying to give in to his regret in order to make it appear, and then it became apparent that it wasn't becoming more clear as a reward, but as a kind of a taunt. It was like, oh, if you can give this up.
It was a counteroffer.
A counteroffer, exactly. Well, much like with when we are experiencing, a terrible, just lingering pain that no matter what kind of salve or medicine we try to use, it can dull it, but it'll never make it go away. That pain can be incredibly distracting, but if used in the right moment, that nice sharp kick can kind of help throw everything into focus, at least just for a moment before it becomes unbearable. And John's going to try to push that. Now that the fire has seeped away from his body into his mind, he's going to try and use that to, much as he always does, see if he can get one over on this entity and see if he can force just one single flash of inspiration as to what that rune, that arcane diagram is. Even if he has to put himself, his body and his mind at risk, he's going to see if he can get even just a slight image of that thing being dangled before him.
Okay. Roll an intelligence saving throw, please.
In this time, John is also going to do two things. John is going to pray. John is going to pray to Oriel that he is in one of the most dire circumstances that he has been in a long time, and he is doing everything he can to stay on the path of light, and he is hoping that with Oriel's intervention, he'll be strong enough to make it through this challenge.
Interesting.
Additionally, he is going to reach out to Tiamat, and seeing as he has a pact with Tiamat, the infernal master of Avernus, and doing everything that she can with all of her agents across the multiverse to try to free herself. One of his bargains with her was to try and free her from the underworld, and he is going to reach out to her, and he is going to request power to overcome this challenge. That should he be able to unlock this secret, if it can become clear enough, even for a moment, for him to be able to add this to his repertoire of skills, he'll only be a better agent to further her cause. And so John Carmichael, dipping into both the light and the dark, both the bargains that he's made with heaven and hell, is going to get every shred of advantage he can in order to hold on to and try and overcome and dupe the Muse of War.
Okay. Roll an
Perhaps evil can't
intelligence.
do it. Perhaps good can't do it. Maybe evil and good can do it.
Roll an intelligence saving throw, please.
Okay. Here we go. A natural frickin' 20. Are you kidding me? Yes! Yeah! Ooh, baby, how many times has this happened? He's not even here. He can't even enjoy my gloating. How many times has this happened? It's not only a natural 20, it's also a 30, which is an impossible skill check with both light and darkness at his back and the call. Oh, that was beautiful.
Good. Somebody, please explain this phenomenon to me. How has this happened so many times? This doesn't make any sense. Did you actually sell your soul to get ridiculous dice rolls in a tabletop game, Matt? Is that why this keeps happening? Is your pact with Tiamat just like method acting? What is happening right now?
Yeah. It's only for you, mate. It is only for you. Only ever.
Matt, I was about to make you explode.
I know.
I was gonna be like, yeah, okay. The holy light of Oriel flows in, and the darkness of Tiamat flows in, and you're at ground zero, and they annihilate each other, and you take
tons of yeah. Yep.
Oh, wow, that's a terrible roll too for 24d6.
For 24d6. Yeah.
I was like, this is gonna be Matt's lesson. This is gonna be the moment that you realize that good is good and bad is bad, and there's a certain point where they don't work together, but you just had to roll a natural 20.
Yes. So, hey, mate, buddy, master of our world.
Yes.
What happens when pulling the forces of light and darkness, rolling a natural 20 to get a 30, when you're trying to beat an elder evil? What happens in that regard? Do I give the baby drugs? Is that a thing that happens now?
Well, Matt, I guess you do the thing that I was absolutely going to not allow you to do, no matter what. I guess you beat the older eel, Matt.
Oh, gosh.
You know what?
I'm getting beyond belief.
I'm still having my way with this. There is still a massive explosion as light, darkness, and this violet all just boom right in the middle. And John goes hurling away from it. Asena, roll a Constitution saving throw for yourself and for Dargan. John, roll a Constitution saving throw for Charlemagne, please.
Oh, shoot.
Okay, Charlemagne failed. That is 48 points of force damage. Dargan and Asena succeeded. That is 24 points of force damage. John takes 70 points of force damage as he explodes.
Oh.
And the blast, I was also not going to do this. The blast of the shockwave cuts the coruscating violet plasma, snaps it, and it starts flailing around like electrical cables, and where it touches the walls, it just starts melting and disintegrating through them as the chamber begins to self-destruct. And as these two violet tendrils flail back and forth, they also begin to withdraw, shrinking and burning in on themselves. You have now activated the load-bearing dungeon. The dungeon is now collapsing. Congratulations.
Yay.
What do all of you do?
Well, first of all, I take a lot of damage. That's what I do. Let me get to John. Move, Charlemagne, so I can get to John. There we go. I mean, so you said 48. Ow. Well, by the way, did John get a picture of the thing now? Did John see what it looks like?
Yes. I'll tell you what you discovered when you escape.
Okay.
For dramatic effect.
Of course. Well, here we go. Mate, is this a figure it out or is this a skill challenge?
Figure it out. It doesn't have to be a huge skill challenge. If you haven't, well, it's an enormous temple. The only quick way out is through the Elder Eidolon. All the other ways out are ridiculously complicated. This place is dimensionally multifaceted, so teleportation magic is going to be skewy. And it's also that dimensional multifaceting is collapsing now as well, which on the one hand may increase your chances of success, and on the other hand may increase the badness of a teleport failure of any kind.
Oh gosh, I have a possible way to get us out of here, but it would involve John getting corrupted, which I don't love that idea. So maybe I'll keep that in our back pocket in case things get really bad. Okay. Saying that it worked. I got it. Let's get the hell out of here before we die.
Are you okay?
Oh, no, I'm not okay. I just exploded. Did you see that? The forces of light and dark exploded Yitzhak's purple flame. That was amazing, but we can't talk about it right now. We got to get the hell out of here.
Okay.
I think we should go back the way we came. Wait, do you have a plan?
I could teleport, but
Could. That might go bad. Are you?
we could go through the hole. Let's try the hole first.
Yeah, let's go the hole first.
The path that you guys took is ridiculously complex. It is twisty and turny, and sometimes you can only swim in single file, and you could get lost in the dark. If you elect to go out the way you came, it will be a skill challenge for sure. With damage taken with every.
Now hold on a minute. If I make light, then we're not in the dark anymore, right?
That'll help.
Dude, screw this. John's gonna summon Blazing Chariot. We're just gonna jump on the chariot and just frickin' fly through the. We're gonna fly through everything. We're just gonna get ourselves out of here.
You see me rolling. They hate.
Asena, what do you think? Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna jump on the flaming chariot. We're gonna duck down. John is then going to summon an image of a horrible elder thing around this chariot, and we're just gonna go right out the front door. We're just gonna blast our way right out the front door and just get the hell out of here.
It sounds good. I mean,
Okay, that's what we
ride
do.
in a lot of weird vehicles.
John's
Pretending
gonna-
to be other weird.
Pretending to be other weird vehicles. Okay, perfect. John's gonna summon the blazing chariot. He's gonna cast major image, and we're gonna make ourselves look like a terrible, giant, weird-looking shark.
All right, I've been trying to figure out a good tagline for this series, but we ride in a lot of weird-looking vehicles disguised as other weird-looking vehicles. Might be the closest to distilling this campaign anyone has come.
It's a pretty good one.
Okay, well, you cruise out the front door past a very confused Elder Eidolon, just zooming on a holy chariot disguised as an aberrant pile of tentacles, as the Temple of Yitzhak explodes, which was absolutely impossible and was not a thing that could happen unless you nuked it or did something similar, but I guess we're here now. And so you go cruising out, and as you do, you see many, many other deep ones, because suddenly it's very bright down here, because the violet light is shining through all the holes in the temple as it's collapsing. And you can see there are probably at least hundreds, maybe not thousands, but hundreds of deep ones that have moved into the city in the last 5 years. And now they're all scrambling because their home is exploding.
Yes.
And you cruise out the front door unharmed.
Yes.
Where will you go?
Well, I think we should go back to the beginning. Asena, do you want to just go nuke that shark before we leave? The whole point of coming down here was to figure out if we should nuke that shark. And then we ended up exploding.
My wife is stuck outside.
Temple of Violet Flame.
Okay, wait. While he's gone, what are we gonna do? So we're gonna go see the shark?
I mean, we could either go and really mess up this underwater, city while we're down here, because everything is distracted watching this temple blow up. So we could just go bananas all over this place. But I think it would.
Does that
I think we've done
affect
enough.
the shark at all?
What's that?
Does the temple blowing up affect the shark at all?
I doubt it, because that shark is so far away. But maybe it has. Maybe it has a. We'll find out. I think we're getting close to the end. So I think we should just go back and just send the shark to dream, to the realm of dream.
Full circle.
Yeah, I just come full circle.
Okay, my wife is no longer trapped in the front yard.
Oh, glorious.
How are you going to go about executing baby shark? Do.
Gosh, you. Well, we're gonna start off by getting mommy shark, daddy shark, uncle shark, and apparently dragon shark, and we're gonna go eat a baby. I think we're gonna have Darga go eat a baby.
Okay. A duty that he executes with gusto and mess, and it takes a while because that's a very large shark.
We, of course, destroy the field surrounding it and making it, easier for, not to be so bad. And yeah, that's how we'll wrap up our adventure under the sea. Under the sea.
And where do you go from there?
I was going to make some weird Eldritch pun, but yeah, no, I think we'll call up Indogalot at this point.
I like to imagine the two of you, like, we cut to the sunny surface of Quelia. Because Quelia, I don't think Asena's ever been there. It's not full water world.
But it's close.
But it's overwhelmingly, it's like a mostly tropical islands planet. No huge land masses, tons of small trees, and very warm, lush environments. It'd be a vacation planet if it wasn't for all the giant sharks and stuff. And the Sahuagin beneath the seas who raid local settlements. So the camera cuts to a beautiful sunny day, dappling blue waves, some palm trees on a nearby island swaying in a delightful breeze. And the water bubbles, and then this flaming chariot just...
Is it a violet flaming chariot?
No.
Oh.
And it lands, and you just see our heroes sort of brushing the water off themselves, and John rings up Indogalot, buddy! 25 words or less. You can reply to this message. What's the gist of what you're going to tell him?
We need pickup. We did something big, and time is of the essence. Flesh of core, other evils.
Okay. And we will, unless Pods, you had anything else that you wanted to say or do along this entire process?
Yeah. I'd love to check in with John, and now that we have a moment, to see if he actually is okay.
Is John, aside from being incredibly injured? Yeah, how is John doing mentally, physically, otherwise?
Well, because everybody bounced off of each other, you didn't end up one way or another mentally. You just exploded.
That's
like
good.
Your head hurts. You have a huge headache from all these things, but your personality hasn't been modified. Your emotions aren't being tampered with. There are two very important things, though, that may impact your mood.
Okay.
First off, the inklings of a spell that has been revealed to you about how to achieve thermonuclear fusion and start a thermonuclear reaction with magic. This is the beginnings of an actual arcane nuke.
But just the beginnings.
Just the beginnings, yes.
Now, is this something that he needs to go find more pieces to, or just John needs to experiment more and unlock more of what he's
You
seen?
have the theory. You need to develop the theory and build it out into something that has enough power. Like, do you need some fissile materials? Does it work with anything?
Are we talking like a 10th level spell? Is that the kind of like area that we're talking about? Right? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's ritual magic. It's complex casting. It's going to involve like some of the ingredients, the material components may involve a pile of uranium-235.
Yeah.
Or plutonium if you can get it. Yeah. So this is not going to be a you now have a finger snap nuke button. This is a new quest unlocked. Nukes. Yachaka has given you the beginnings of a nuke spell. The second
given is a strong word. That was we kind of like shoved our hand, not just in the cookie jar, we shoved our hand in the oven, but the oven had a deep fryer in it, and somehow we were okay.
The other thing is the piece of the flesh of Kur that you forgot.
What do you mean forgot?
The one you forgot. The one we both forgot.
What do you mean forgot?
Every time that you and I have gone over them and listed where all of them are, we forgot about one.
Okay, well, John didn't. What are you talking about? We forgot. Explain, DM. Explain.
in a cavern so large you cannot see the sides or the roof, where an hourglass counts down the sands of every single dragon in the multiverse's life. One enormous bone hourglass counts down the hours of the five-headed dragon goddess herself, the dragon goddess Tiamat, who you fused with a piece of the flesh of Kor.
Right. Yeah, you're right about that. I did do that. That's a thing that happened. You're right. That was this campaign too. That wasn't an old thing. That was this one. Oh shit. That's right.
I've been cooking with that, and I wasn't gonna reveal it until you rolled a freaking 20 on that. So I'm gonna leave now. and possibly make some very poor life choices to cope with my reality. Thank you everyone for joining us on yet another freaking episode of Coriander Society Adventures.